Well, this is probably going to be my most disorganized video I ever made. I have been very busy this summer, staying up half the night taking videos of the moon and Saturn with my telescope, a lot of grass mowing and all kinds of stuff. And I know I said I wouldn't be buying any more books until I read all the books from my last book haul, which I have about probably 30 books to read. But unfortunately, I have come across some great deals that I just couldn't pass up. And as I've mentioned earlier, in 1963, toward about April or so of 1963, I began reading science fiction. And I started reading a lot of science fiction books, and I've discussed a lot of that earlier. Excuse me. I've been out mowing the grass again today. But at any rate, I have the reprint of the first copy of Magnus Robot Fighter, Gold Key Books, and that was published in 1963. In 1968, they republished the first story of Magnus Robot Fighter again. Attempting to buy the first edition of Magnus Robot Fighter was very cost prohibitive. I was able to get this one for about $12, and it is, I guess it's missing a few panels compared to the original, but it is the first story of Magnus Robot Fighter. And Magnus is an orphan taken in by Robot 1A, who trains him to combat bad AIs, essentially. 1A is a good guy, and here is what it says, the very first panel: no robot may harm a human or allow a human to come to harm. This is the unbreakable law built into every robot, and the metal men were created solely to ease man's tasks of life. Of course, we're not paying any attention to that right now. And I'll show you guys a little bit of 1A here down here as he is speaking with Magnus. He's basically Magnus' father. And he is the yellow robot down on this panel right here. So I've got that, and I was very happy to get this. And I came up with another copy of Magnus that I had back in 1968. And in here you can see that Magnus' wife, Legia, is very involved in combating the evil robots as well. And so she gets into the action all the time. And I found Magnus very interesting. Unfortunately, in 1977, all of my wife and I were married, and my parents decided to buy another house, and I had left all my comic books and my go-kart and my bicycles and everything there. They auctioned off the house and everything in it, and that was the end of literally thousands of dollars of comic books that I never saw again. I had no idea they were going to do it. But I believe I saw Sci-Fi Reads on one of his book hauls discuss this science fiction magazine, which I had never heard of before. And he went through it, and I noticed that when he opened it up to the table of contents, there is a section. This is Spaceway, February 1954, Volume 2, looks like number 3. And it says, Van Vogt on Dianetics. I have never seen this before. So I immediately got on the internet and ordered a copy, and it showed up, and it is in great condition. And there is an entire, roughly, let's see, it's about about 16 pages of A.E. Van Vogt on specific topics that the editors were asking him here about regarding Dianetics. And this was an eye-opening experience for me. And Van Vogt very logically and competently discusses what he thought was something that would help change the world. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. So I have purchased quite a few books here over the last 4 weeks. This one is John M. Ford, called Growing Up Weightless. And now I haven't read these yet. I've just kind of read through them. And it's about growing up on the moon after the moon has been colonized and the solar system has been explored and man has developed a faster than light space travel, and the people on the moon are kind of like what we would consider a backwoods development at this point. So this is, I'm not sure exactly when it was published. It says copyright 1993 by the estate of John M. Ford. When I get around to reading these, I will do a better job on these books. This book is the Tor edition 2022. So I've heard of this book and I've been interested in picking it up, and I actually got it at Second and Charles. Very reasonably priced, and the book is in fantastic condition. Now, this is one that I have been looking for a long time. Cordwainer Smith, The Rediscovery of Man, SF Masterworks. This one is published, well, it's not 1975. First published in Great Britain, 1995. That 1975 copyright was from Genevieve Linebarger. And it looks like Orion Publishing is responsible for this one, and I cannot find a date on it. But from the condition of the book and the barcode and everything, I think this one couldn't be more than a few years old. And it does contain the timeline, the recommended timeline for reading the short stories in order. So I had been looking for this one for a while. I actually had something very similar about 1975, and somehow that one got away from me. Now, I will save the most expensive book that I've purchased here for last, and we will continue on through my books that I've bought print on demand. This is the actual magazine publication of Randall Garrett's Anything You Can Do, which is a great science fiction story. I have it in hardbound too. And it's really, this book is really well done. It has a little biography on Randall. Unfortunately, Randall suffered a lot toward the end of his life. We'll just put it that way. And it says Garrett suffered an attack of encephalitis in the summer of 1979 and spent the last 8 years of his life in a coma, which I had heard before discussed in the science fiction magazines. And here's the main character, the Knipe, who is an ambassador coming to Earth to try to establish communication. Unfortunately, the Knipe and the humans are so alien to each other, they have no common ground right off the bat, and things go very, very badly. I've read this book 5 or 6 times. It's great. And this one has all of the magazine illustrations as well. And they're really very good. And for the life of me, I can't remember who first published this, but it might have been Analog. Well, again, I'm very disorganized. I apologize, but this is a good book, and I will do a complete review at some point. Here is another print on demand that I've ordered, and I've been getting these since about almost about 2 years, but I've ordered a bunch of them in the last few weeks, and I'll explain why here shortly. This is Star Surgeon by Alan E. Norse. And this one was printed for me by Positronic Publishing. And I've actually been in contact with the guy who runs Positronic Publishing, and he asked me to send him a list of books or short stories or anything else that I would like to see printed in book form, and I did that this morning. And this one was published, I believe, January 2nd, 2025. I ordered this off of Amazon Positronic Publishing. And hopefully you guys can see that. And again, another great book. I haven't read it for a while. This one is another print on demand, and this is Colossus the Forbin Project. Well, it's actually just Colossus. The movie is called Colossus the Forbin Project. I just finished reading it yesterday. I read it in about a day and a half, and I liked it quite a bit, and I'll do a complete review on it. And this one, I can't really tell where it was published. Well, here it says, this edition first published in Great Britain in 2020 by Gollancz. But I am not sure this is one of their books. It may be. Again, a great book. I liked it a lot. First written in 1966, as I recall. Or first released in 1966. Yep. Copyright D.F. Jones, 1966. So again, another book to review, and a very good one. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. Next we have Jack Vance, Big Planet. And this one is produced by Spatterlight Press. And it was printed for me in Cleveland, Ohio, June 25th of 2025. Let's see if I can get that on there where you guys can see this. My copy of Big Planet is pretty ragged, so this was certainly worth the money, and it has a nice size print, big pages. It's like a hardbound book, but it is a paperback. So there's that one. And here is another Positronic Publishing hardbound. And it's priced very reasonably for what it is. It is called the Keith Laumer Super Pack. And on the back it says, collected here for the first time in this massive omnibus collection are 3 novels and 21 short stories by multiple Hugo and Nebula Award nominated author Keith Laumer. There's almost 1,000 pages in here, and it contains the Keith Lelmer Super Pack. Let's show you guys that too. They have other author super packs. They have Andre Norton. They have all kinds of stuff. And I actually emailed this gentleman. His name is Warren. I can't remember his last name. And he responded to me right away. Now, I'm not sure if this one was published in 2020. It was my understanding they printed it. It took about 7 or 8 days from the time I ordered it to show up. But I believe they just printed it for me like 3 weeks ago. It says copyright 2020, Positronic Publishing. And in here are all the stories in here. Let me count the novels. 1, 2, I think they say 3 novels. Yep, I'm only identifying 2 right now. Worlds of the Imperium, A Trace of Memory, A Hoax in Time. That is a novel. I had forgotten about that one. But you have a lot of relief in here, and some other stories. It Could Be Anything is not relief, and End as a Hero is not relief. The Star Sent Knaves is not relief, but it's hilarious. And there's The Night of the Trolls, which is a Bolo story. And I'm hoping he's telling me that he can print more. I will get all of relief, and we have to find a couple more relief novels. All of my books are currently upstairs in my attic and have been there. Well, not all of my books. About 2/3 of my books are upstairs in the attic right now. I'm trying to burn out, and they've been there since June 10th, trying to burn out the old book smell, which I'm not even sure how that occurred because my books have always been in a controlled environment. Well, I shouldn't say that. The first, from 1963 to 1970, they were not. But from 1970 forward, they've been in air conditioning and climate control. But I really am excited to get this Keith Lelmer. And then the most expensive book I've ever purchased in my life is this one. A.E. Van Vogt, The Weapon Shops of Isher and the Weapon Makers, both in one volume. And this was produced by Tor, Tom Doherty Associates book. And again, it's very difficult for me to tell exactly when this was published. I don't see anything saying when this book was actually published in the entire book. So I'm guessing maybe 2005, something like that. But it has all of this in it. The Weapon Shops of Isher and the Weapon Makers. That is all I have for right now. And I've had quite a book haul, and I've been waiting for a long time to come up with a individual hard copy, hardbound book of the Weapon Shops of Isher. And then this one, I found this in the bookstore, and the Weapon Makers is in there too. Now, I didn't spend like $1,000 or anything for like this. It wasn't even $100. But it's more than I've ever spent on any book. So that's all I've got for now. And, well, I've spent a lot more than that on some of my college books, especially in the 2000s. But I hope everybody's having a great summer. I am. I have been mowing grass. I have been getting exercise. I started actually working out again here about 6-8 weeks ago. And I've been having a great time. But I have very little time with all the tasks that I have currently. I hope everybody's having a great time again, and we'll see you next time.